This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
Bank digital currencies are either in pilot scheme or executive order stage in the States, or they're floating under the radar.
Every person that I come in contact with in the public, I ask them, do you know what a CBDC is or a central bank digital currency? And nobody knows.
The central bank digital currency is basically what we have now. So it's fiat currency, but it's going to be entirely digital, which means absolutely in the control of the government and the central banks.
Such a system would give the state full access to the details of all transactions, as well as the ability to cut off an individual's money supply with the flick of a digital switch.
The CEO of the Bank for International Settlements recently told the world that the great thing about central bank digital currency was that they could track every transaction.
We tend to establish the equivalence with cash, and there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that.
What he just told you is if you're not allowed to buy chocolate, your money won't work to buy chocolate. If you're not allowed to go more than 5 kilometers from your home, your car or your money won't work more than 5 kilometers from your home. And those rules can be dictated and controlled at a phenomenally central level.
Central bank digital currencies are programmable. So it essentially means that it's a much easier way to push agendas, political agendas. For example, the World Economic Forum is talking about implementing a carbon allowance. So every individual will be given a certain amount of carbon that they are allowed to emit into the atmosphere. With a central bank digital currency, this becomes far more efficient because with a click of a button, you literally just program the money. And so if for whatever reason you buy too many burgers, too many sausages one week, when you go to fill up your car, your money could be cancelled. It could get declined simply because you use too much of your carbon allowance, essentially. Or even if you go to buy a plane ticket, it could get cancelled. So it's much easier to push forward political agendas and political ideologies when you have money which is programmable with just a click of a button.
It actually gives government pretty much total control over our lives because they can just press a button and close our bank accounts. No, they wouldn't do that now, would they? Well, think about it. Those Canadian truckers, they were legally and lawfully going about their business driving trucks, but legislation came in demanding that unless they'd been double vaxxed, they couldn't continue in their cabins doing long-distance lorry driving. And they protested. And in the end, their bank accounts were closed down by the Canadian government.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau invoking emergency powers against the truckers who are protesting vaccine mandates. Banks can now freeze their personal accounts.
If your truck is being used in these illegal blockades, your corporate accounts will be frozen. With a central bank digital currency, if you do not hold the correct opinion, and if you're not a good citizen, then absolutely that money will be programmed to be used against you.
Our previous Chancellor, now unelected Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is clearly a big fan.
Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote. It's all part of the wider story of digital innovation that has delivered benefits to millions around the world and in the UK.
What would the benefits be to the general public?
Ease of use, I think, would be the only benefit.
Convenient.
Convenience, and that's how they're going to sell it.
The arguments for it are clear. It'll be quick, easy, cheap to transact. There'll be no problems at all, no loose change lying around. There'll be lots and lots of arguments for it.
But they won't tell you everything else. They won't tell you how it will be programmed. They won't tell you that it's a spy coin. They won't tell you that they're trying to phase out cash and that they want to track absolutely everything that you're doing. the cons definitely outweigh any type of pros when it comes to programming it for benefits and things like that, because the money can also expire. Not enough people talk about that. During times of economic uncertainty, central banks like to print more money in order to stimulate the economy. But we could get to a point where instead of printing money, they say, well, if you don't spend 10% of your savings in the next 3 months, then this money is going to expire, simply because they need that money to change hands.
If I want to double taxes and just take it out of your account, no problem.
They can take your taxes out without you having to bother to pay. They can decide what comes to them first.
This is Richard Werner, the top academic scholar in the world on central banking.
Also, they never talk about the nature of this CBDC. What is it actually going to look like? They never talk about that. But I heard one European central banker tell me what it's going to look like. He saw it. He was invited to one of the old central banks in Europe that are very much promoting this. They showed him. And, he's a top, executive director of another central bank in Europe. And there's no reason to believe that he was telling me a story. And he was around this large and would be implanted under your skin. So that is the plan.
I had a friend, Nick Rockefeller, who's one of the Rockefeller family. And one of the things that we used to talk about was the ultimate plan of the banking industry, what they wanted to accomplish. The ultimate goal that these people have in mind is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips. There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And you become a slave. You become a serf to these people. That's their goal.
The goal of this manipulation, and has been for a very long time, is to get the world population to see as a good idea, or the only option in given circumstances that are manipulated into place, the creation of a one world government, a world central bank which would administer all financial transactions on the planet, a world currency which wouldn't be coins and notes, it would be merely electronic, cashless society for which there are fundamental implications for freedom, and a microchipped population linked to a global computer, the latter of which sounds bizarre to many people on first hearing, except that we are ridiculously close to it and the technology already exists.
Tony Danner is standing at a new frontier in technology. The chip in his hand allows him to start his car, open doors, log onto his computer, and buy snacks in the break room, or with just a swipe of his hand.
I scan it at the kiosk, it comes up on the kiosk, and then to finalize your payment, you'll put your RFID chip.
The most cutting-edge thing about Hannes Querblad isn't the phone in his hand. It's the microchip actually in his hand. The tiny implant is steadily becoming a part of normal life in Sweden. Thousands already have microchip implants that they use in their daily lives, waving their hand to gain entrance to the gym, confirm their ID, or make payments.
What they're trying to do is take the financial system all digital. And we're trying to prevent that from happening because, and I don't care whether it's a central bank digital currency or your Visa card, once you have 100% digital, then you can have central digital control.
Using cash is one of the things we can do to make sure the hurdle will be higher for the central planners to introduce the CBDC.
Use cash every day if you can. If you can persuade 10 members of your friends and family to do the same, and then persuade 10 members of their family or friends, and we spread this virally, there would be a revolution. We have the power individually to shift the entire state of affairs.
We have the power to stop this. The only way this can succeed is if people like you and people like me sit on our ass, sit on the couch, don't get up, don't show up, and go along with it.
If you look at the global control grid, it is us, we the people, who are financing it. We are going to work and we are building it. We are spending money in it. We are supporting it. We are supporting the people who are leading it. And we have the power to stop because they are few and we are many. And if we just stop helping, they can't do it.
Everybody has power. every single person. Because when you get a whole bunch of people, even if they have a little bit of power each, and you put it all together, now they got a lot of power. Now they can make governments do what they want.
You think a snowflake is powerless until you realize enough of them get together, they can shut down New York City. There are millions and millions of people all over the world fighting. People are pushing back all over, and it's very significant. The human race does not want to be controlled. Freedom has won every time, and every time it looked hopeless. What they're trying to do is so against the fundamental wisdom in the universe that they will fail. You have nothing to lose by fighting it all the way down to the wire every day, because the alternative is something not only do you not want to live in it, but you do not want to arrive at the pearly gates and say that your soul accepted it.
All right. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the heads and elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do rule well, who have learned this 100% truth from, who are the true leaders of all Israel, Yasha Allah today. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, those predestined spirits of election scattered abroad. This is your brother Tazapani of the Great Millstone, Washington, D.C. camp, Adawan Ratazah, Lord willing. This quick hit exhortation is edifying to the elect, this digital epistle. So I started out with a scripture in Daniel 12 in the beginning of this video, Daniel 12 and verse 10, and it says again, many shall, matter of fact, I'm going to read in the NLT this time. It says, many will be purified, cleansed, and refined by these trials, but the wicked will continue in their wickedness, and none of them will understand. Only those who are wise will know what it means. And what is it? The prophecies. That's what it is. So IUIC, ISUPK, HOI, WFI, who else? Man, there's so many camps out there, man. You know, and really we be seeing none of them on the street corners for real. So, is they doing the work? Who knows? But the point I'm making, you know, what True Nation, Light of Zion, Light of Israel, all these little splinter camps, you know, whatever. All these ones that is teaching the false doctrine of the mark of the beast is anything else other than the RFID chip. You ultimately wicked, bro. Let's just keep it a buck, okay? This is why in the New Testament it says, "Many shall say, Lord, Lord," right? For we have, you know, what's the name? What is it? Rebuke, you know, demons or devils in thy name, and did this and did that. But the Lord is going to say, "Remove from me, for I never knew you." Roughly paraphrasing. Now, if we do believe, I do believe that there is a small remnant or elect, so to speak, in these other camps, but the Lord is going to put a spirit on them to remove from them and under their leadership, all right, and to open their minds to understand what is coming down. And those that, if they're a prophet, they would go out and do their own thing and preach the truth, which would be contrary to the false doctrines that they have learned under their ex-leaders, so to speak. Okay. But what's the name? Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know. All these other camps can't understand, you see, and it's either they sold out or the Lord has given them a super strong delusion, as it says in the New Testament, right? However, the Lord is dealing with a small remnant. He said, "I shall make thee a small sanctuary." Okay, So, Great Millstone and those of the same doctrine is small compared to these other, there's millions, honestly, there's millions of Israelites out there, or should I say people, that recognize that they're a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American stock. Now, do they all believe the actual truth of the Bible? That's up for debate, okay? But we in a position of time where you cannot hide or you cannot run away, right, from these prophecies. Let's go to the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. All right. Verse 3, it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." Exactly. All right. So it's not going to take its time. It's literally here. They said David Icke in 1996 said the technology was there, man. But of course, certain things had to come about, all right, in order to be where we at now, for the people to be, because they work with gradualism. These devils, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, they want to be like the Most High. The Most High also works in gradualism, all right, just like how he sent hornets to the Canaanites, bees, wasps, whatever, and to break them down little by little, so that Joshua and the Israelite warriors armies could go in there and violate them Hamites, So with them, they do the same thing on a lower level. They constantly break your resistance down upon the Babylonian citizens, so that it could be easier for you to take it. Because remember, he said he causeth all, right? So notice how these people said, these Edomites, this is how you know the Lord ain't dealing with them. Oh, the power to the people. And if we get everybody, if you tell 10 people and tell them to use cash, we can ain't no stopping the script. And then notice Zay Speak Truth, who is a so-called Christian, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So he's making this video, he edited it and all of that, right? And want people to check out. And he's saying the RFID chip is coming, but through spiritual extrapolation, he's trying to say if he gets this out and people see it, that they would listen to this video and apply it, and then we could stop the prophecy. Like, that doesn't make sense. All right. The chip is coming, the mark of the beast is coming. So it doesn't matter if they're gonna mandate it, but we could stop them. No, his word doesn't go out void. There is no, so that means the scriptures say that there is no counsel, right, against the Heavenly Father. All right. Even Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, told Peter, I rebuke you, Satan, man, from trying to stop him from fulfilling prophecy by being a sacrifice, the Lamb of the Most High for his people, the Israelites. Matthew 1:21. So when you try to go against prophecy, it's not going to end well. So a lot of these so-called Christians, all right, are trying to go against prophecy. Or why would you try to stop the mark of the beast? That means you're trying to stop the kingdom of heaven from coming. You see, I'm not going to make this long. You feel me? I just wanted to put that out there. So what's up with y'all camps? I was going to put in the title, hashtag IURC, hashtag ISUPK, hashtag HOI, hashtag all these other camps. But I'm like, let me just put the hashtag Hebrew Israelites. Yo, check this out. You see what I'm saying? Because for some reason, it's like nobody see other than us, which I believe through faith, all right, are the true prophets of the Lord, man. And when I'm talking about us, I'm talking about Elder Apostle Hart on down, bro. All right. And like he said, he been seen this before YouTube, 2007, 2008, so on. And when I came into the truth and I was debating which camp and this and that, I was solidified on the chip. That's what really made me link up, or listen, should I say, and give double honors into my elders, man. And then when I started really like the Church of Berea, you know what I'm saying, getting into, I'm like, yo, these camps is off. And then I started to see the difference, all right, on the pride, the haughty spirit with these other camps, man. You see what I'm saying? The outward appearance with these other camps, man. Okay. You look at Zabak, you look at Nathaniel, you look at Yohana, right? You look at Alizar, right? You look at all these these guys are very materialistic, they proud, and they don't know the scriptures. And for some reason they can't understand. I know the reason. That's a term that we can I don't know why they do it. We know why they do it, but it's a figure of speech in the English language. But I'm gonna pretty much leave it at that, man. The chip is coming, it's the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. There's no way around it. No way around it. All right. Let me see if I could get one more precept. All right. What's a good one? What's a good one? Let's go to Revelation. I mean, we know the Revelation 13. We could pretty much quote that by heart. But I'm gonna get Revelation 13 and Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Okay, basically teaching this word, enduring into the end, sticking with this truth. All right. Bearing one of the fruits of the spirit, which is patience, aka long suffering. I also will keep thee. So he's going to protect us from what? The hour and temptation. Hour meaning a certain amount of time. All right. That everybody's going to be tempted. How are you going to be tempted? Because you're going to be hungry. All right. But yet my servants shall eat, but they shall be hungry. So eventually the Lord is going to take care of us. You see what I'm saying? But there is going to be time to try us, to test us, to see what we're going to do. So when your stomach is rumbling, is you going to, hopping onto that school bus to take you to a concentration camp so you could take the chip? If you of the elect, you're not going to do it. All right. It says, which shall come upon all the world. So everybody is going to get this. We don't matter from if you the Western world, Eastern world, North, South, all 7 continents, it don't matter. It says to try them that dwell upon the earth. See? And that's the point, man. Yeah, we can read verse 11. Behold, I come quickly. So Yahushua not going to take no till, Lord willing, of course, but till 2030, 2050. Nah, bro. All right. Measure the time thou diligently in itself. 2 Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. Right? Hold that fast which thou hast, this truth, that no man might take thy crown, right? That position of royalty that we are waiting for the reward for keeping the patience, keeping his word. You see what I'm saying? Doing what we're supposed to be doing. All right. So, if these other camps watch this video, then it's come on, look around you, man. Look around you. All right. This thing is literally right in front of your face. And of course, like Elder Apostle Ryan Lob say, constantly, they're gonna try to they might throw a chip in there, like Bishop Nathaniel said, but trying to save their ass. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. We got the receipts, man. I mean, don't meddle with a man subject under change, roughly paraphrasing. And they've been everybody been changing up the doctrine. Okay. But Great Millstone never did. Y'all right? Hey, with that, I'm gonna say call all Yahbashim El Shai, Basham Kakutash. On to the next one. Shalom.